We kind of looking at our community and other things and seeing where we thought we could be of the biggest help. Fortunately, at that time, I was employed with the Anderson Housing Authority. Two of them had a large number of young people. 90% of the home was headed by a single female without a lot of dads. So we became big brothers, we became their friends, and in some cases we became father figures. Character building was certainly necessary, which we certainly tried to do that. We also, in formulating the ministry itself, we wanted to make sure that we brought men in that certainly were committed into helping develop the young men into men. 90% of our men at that time were deacons in their churches. However, most of us were from different churches, and we thought that was a plus too, because we thought if we could show the community how the churches could come together and make a difference in the community, that might motivate and encourage other churches to do the same. Because the two goals were to develop educational and recreational activities for them. Then we certainly took them to professional football games, basketball games. We traveled to zoos. We did museums. So we tried to expose them to a variety of opportunities. We had several young men that went on to be veterinarians. Sean Ellis went on to play professional football, both for New England as well as the New York Jets. Chadwick Boseman kind of also let them know success doesn't always mean being a superstar, achieving high goals, just being a contributor. And you make sure that you care about somebody other than yourself. And sometimes it's just mean working a 9 to 5 and taking care of the family you now have. We also want to make sure that people understand. Usually when they see men working with young men, sometimes preconceived ideas say, well, those must be gentlemen or young men they're working with that's been in trouble. No, sir, that was not the case. We bring them in and teach them minor skills like maybe plumbing, where you may change a handle on one of the controls. We've also brought them in and we did some minimum electrical work. We had them to put a light switch together and then turn it on, and they see the light come on and they're excited about it. We have not worked with one young man that when we meet him, he and his family in a grocery store, in church, or just in a public area, that he does not come back and walk up to us and tell us, I sure appreciate what men at work done for me, because had you not intervened in my life, I don't know what I would have become. There's a number of people that has been very instrumental in the funding of this ministry. Kurt Stutler, when we first started out some years ago, we partnered with the United Way at that time. Reverend Stutler was there. Mrs. Grace Floyd, she's just been immaculate. She has believed in us more than we had ourselves. She made sure she helped us out tremendously. It wasn't so much of the money, certainly we needed it, that Ms. Floyd gave. She believed in this program. She believed in this ministry. The Housing Authority has provided both transportation as well as buildings to allow us to do the things that we do. Mr. Roberts, which is a contractor here in Anderson. When he's on city council, he helped us out a lot. And I certainly don't want to forget the wives of all the men that's in this ministry that have certainly allowed us to leave our home and sometimes our own families to help others. So we the help has always been there, and certainly couldn't have done any of it if it wasn't for the Lord.
One thing we thought about was all those kids, most of them probably weren't going to college. and let them know how important it is if you get you a good trade, the type of living you can make just by knowing how to do something like plumbing or electrical. But our main thing was to get them exposed to all these trades, and maybe they'll decide on which one they like the best. We started out doing carpentry over at Mr. Roberts' place over there. And after we came from there, we started, well, Bobby was a certified electrician with Michelin for over 30 years, I guess, and I was called an electro-mech. I was electrical and mechanical troubleshooter. So I had something to offer to him, and we started doing some of the things that we knew. And we got Jimmy Brown, who has an electrical company, involved. And some of the kids start showing potential. Some of them liked it. So that's the biggest part of it that I liked. One of the things that really made me think was, we carried those kids to a movie one day, and we had a kid say he'd never been to a movie before in his life. It's not that they're intellectually inferior, just a lot of things they just don't know because they've never been around it. One of the classes was just teaching them how to check oil in a car, check the tires, look at the belts, and check the belts. And a lot of those boys, they really enjoyed doing that. They said they're going to do it at mama's car when they got home. It helps me to help somebody else. It makes me feel good about myself to know that I have done something positive in somebody's life, especially some young person's life.